Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you've all been staying safe and sane throughout this insane period. And I thought I would do something to kind of lighten up the mood. I'm sure everybody here on YouTube is trying that as well, just to take your mind off of things and, bring it into a more relaxed headspace. So I thought I would do this. I am following a Mary Phillips tutorial. I kind of pulled inspiration from a few of her looks that she did on Kim Kardashian and Kendall Jenner, and the way that she does makeup is so beautiful, and I thought I would try to recreate it, and this is what I came up with. And by the way, if you're noticing this, I am actually dealing with a reaction to a skincare product, so I just wanted to let you guys know this is where the skin is at right now. But if you wanted to get this makeup look right here, and you want to find out the techniques and what I learned from Mary Phillips, then please keep on watching. My skin is not doing its best right now. I reacted to a product about 2 weeks ago and I'm still trying to get everything in control. So I managed to smooth out the surface of the skin a little bit, but it's still pretty broken out and congested. So I'm gonna go in with the Drunk Elephant Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. This I'm using to give my skin a little bit of hydration, smooth out the bumps a little bit. Next I'm gonna go in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas. This does a pretty good job at smoothing out the skin and keeping the foundation in place. So I'm doing a little bit more than I usually would, just because, as I mentioned before, my skin is pretty congested and bumpy at the moment. I've been playing around a little bit and I found the best thing to do when you've got these really bad bumps on your skin is to do a really hydrating, luminous foundation, but then powder it down so that it's a bit more matte. That way the hydrating foundation kind of smooths everything out, blurs out the pores a little bit, and if anything catches the light, that's where the powder comes in. So I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, and then I'll mix a little bit of the Makeup Forever Ultra HD in there. Now I'm going to spot conceal in the areas that need a lot of extra love. I'm going to go in with my Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer in a slightly lighter shade than my skin tone. And I'm going to use a tiny brush for this so I can spot conceal. So what I'm doing is I'm actually focusing on the area underneath the spot where there is a shadow. Then I'm gently tapping it in so it blends into the skin. Now that everything's looking a tiny bit better, I'm going to go in with the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. This is a powder that absorbs oil, but it's also really hydrating, which is perfect for what we're going to be doing here. We're lightly dusting that powder over everything, so it's going to mattify the area, but it's not going to dry it out. Okay, let's move on to the brows. I got this product and I showed you guys on my Instagram quite a while ago from Lazada. This is basically $1 US, $1.15. Very cheap product and pretty effective. I'm going to spritz the KVD Lock-It Setting Spray into the little tin. And then this is my Bobbi Brown brow brush. That's just gonna go right through the brows like this. And then I'm just pressing down with my finger to lock it in place. I'm gonna go in with Anastasia Pomade in medium brown using that same brush. So with this, what I like to do is I draw in hair-like strokes first, and then when there's not much left on the brush, I'll start to try and outline a shape. And then when I dip back in, it's again hair-like strokes, and then when there's nothing on the brush, I go in to shape it some more. I want to do like a Kendall brow. I don't really know how to get that kind of effect, but I do know that it's really long. So I'm going to elongate my tail even further. Alright, I have done the brows. They're not quite perfect, but I'm going to move on and we'll come back later and try to fix them if necessary. Right now I'm going to go in with the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer. This is in the color Macchiato. And from what I've seen, she does a lot of groundwork with bronzer or a cream contour. So I'm going to do just that. Connecting the cream contour into the brows and then taking it through the upper crease of the eyes. And then we're going to do some full-on bronzing across the edges of the face. And then I'm just going to blend that in with my beauty blender. For the nose and eye contours, I'm actually just going to take a synthetic brush that's pretty fluffy and just soften any harsh edges. And I'm also taking that contour like all the way into the temples. Alright, and now for highlight, I'm going to go in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer. This is in the color 185. I just realized I did something I was not supposed to do. I wouldn't put concealer all over where I already set. That's not good. That makes it look really, really cakey. So if you guys are watching this and trying to do this makeup tutorial, just remember, don't touch the areas where you've already concealed and set everything. It's just gonna ruin it. It does look really dry now. Ugh. We're just gonna push through with this makeup tutorial. Hopefully it'll look good at the end of it. I'm gonna go in with my Pineapple palette from Tarte. You can use any neutral colored palette. It really doesn't have to be this one. This one does have a lot of the colors that I want to use though. There we go, it is finally in focus. I'm gonna start with, ooh, I might go in with this purpley one actually. That one looks really good. So what Mary Phillips does that is so fascinating is that she actually has this standard eye shape that she always carves out on her clients. She goes through the crease, really defining it, and then she goes to the outer edges, something like this as well. And then she brings the color down here. So I'm just gonna map it out really lightly at first and leave it there so I can do a little bit more work later. And I'm kind of mixing elements of Kendall Jenner's makeup and Kim Kardashian's makeup in this tutorial. Basically with Kendall's makeup, she doesn't really do very much in this very high upper crease in between the brows and the actual crease. Whereas with Kim Kardashian's makeup, because I guess Kim does go for a much more dramatic look and Kendall's always wearing these really nice subtle looks. So Kim's makeup does go all the way up into the upper crease, very close to the brows. So I'm doing kind of a mix of both, keeping it light and yet definitely putting some color in there. I'm now going to go in with the KVD Vegan Beauty Cake Pencil. I've seen a lot of Mary Phillips's interviews and she says she loves a good eye pencil, and that's because she does really pretty smudging on the eyes, which does come out looking very signature Mary Phillips. So I'm going to try and achieve the look that she gets. So she does this little flick at the outer corners. Again, depending on what kind of makeup look she's doing, that will change. Sometimes she has, she gives her clients really nice dramatic cat eyes, and then sometimes they're just little kitten wings. Right now I'm going for somewhere in between. And then I'm going to take a small pencil brush and dip into one of the dark brown colors in the palette. So this is going to smoke out that pencil liner. And then we're going to extend it a little bit upwards and go back into that shape that we mapped out earlier. And I love the way she does it. It's very lived in, not overly perfect, which means it's easier for us to recreate. So I'm just layering that color until we get the intensity that we want. And the intensity you're looking for is basically a nice dark shadow in your crease. So if you don't have enough of a shadow in your crease, you definitely want to add a little bit more color. But as you're adding, make sure that you're blending as well. I think this is what takes the most time. But if you get it right, it's very rewarding. Okay, I've got to be very, very careful not to make this too smoky. I always do that with my eye looks. And then at the outer corners, we want to just wing it out really nicely. Kendall does have this beautiful almond shape to her eyes, so let's try and achieve that. We're going to elongate our liner just a tiny bit, and then what we do, ooh, I'm going to drop my liner. And then what we want to do is just blend that brown eyeshadow out together with the liner. You know, I'm not a massive fan of natural looking makeup, but I do love the way Kendall Jenner wears her makeup. It's like glam but natural at the same time. I have no idea how Mary Phillips does it. I do think Mary Phillips does a lot of her makeup looks, and I don't know, it always looks so amazing. And here I am like struggling to keep it natural. The more I blend, the more glam it gets. Now we're gonna go underneath the eye with the same pencil brush and that nice darker brown color. Now that I've got the eyeshadow kind of mapped out, I can see where it's going. I want to elongate the brows even more. Now time for the individuals. Now this is something I've heard Mary Phillips talk about so much, and I feel like in all of the photos that we see of her clients, she's using individual falsies. So I'm gonna grab my individuals. These are the ones that I'm using. Oh, individuals. This is gonna take a while. Like 100 years later, the lashes are done. I'm gonna go in with this Fenty Beauty Flypencil. I am going to put it into the lower waterline, but only halfway across. Then I'm going back in with my pencil brush and that dark brown color just to redefine the lower lash a little bit. Now I'm going to pop some mascara on. I'm using my absolute favorite. This is the Heroine Make Mascara. So what I'm trying to do here is, first of all, get my lashes to blend in with the false individuals. And second of all, I want to coat the individuals as well with a tiny bit of mascara. That way everything kind of looks more seamless. Okay, and now the lower lash line. Okay, I'm putting the final touches on the eyeshadow, just redefining everything a teeny tiny bit. And then with a small brush, I'm also going to grab a shimmery color and place that in the center of the lids. Eyes are officially done, guys. We're going to move on to the rest of the face. I'm going in with this Joie de Vivre, blah, blah, blah. Joie de Vivre Windflush, oh my gosh, Windflush blush. So we're starting at the apples and then taking it right up into the temples. We're gonna do two things now. First things first, the Dior Backstage Contour Palette. This I'm gonna put down here and kind of brush it upwards. We're not gonna do too much. We just want to put a tiny bit of definition back into the cheeks, especially since Kendall has such defined cheekbones. Then we're going in with the powder once again, and this time we're just gonna lighten up the jaw a little bit underneath the contour. So I've seen Kendall Jenner with a lot of different colors on her lips, but her nude lips are beautiful and the Cupid's bow is just insanely pretty. So I'm gonna try and achieve the same Cupid's bow. Let's see how that works out. I am applying one of my lightest lipsticks. This is LimeCrime Coquette. Now for highlighter, let's go with Ofra Glazed Donut. And finally, a bit of setting spray. This one is the MAC Fix Plus in Coconut. And that, guys, is my finished Mary Phillips makeup tutorial. I hope you like it, and I hope I got as close as possible to what Mary does. She doesn't have very many tutorials out there, so it was a little bit difficult to put this together, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!